I, nearly adult male, will be coming into a large amount of money when I turn 18. This is money that my mom, who died when I was 7, and my maternal grandparents accumulated for me since I was born. I won't say the exact amount, but it's between $500,000 and $1 million. The reason it's that much is that my grandparents ran a successful business for many years, and they sold it 18 months ago, and all the money from that sale went to me. They kept none of it. My grandparents currently have control over all of it. Before my mom died, she left them in charge of the account where she was saving. She was married to my dad then, but wanted to secure my future in case anything happened, like my dad remarrying and having additional kids. She didn't want to run the risk that her money could be used for someone who wasn't her kid once she was gone. My dad knew some money had been saved for me by mom, but was never aware of how much or little it was. He also had no idea my grandparents continued saving for me. My grandparents told me about the money over a year ago. They wanted me to prepare for my future and know I would have many options because of the funds available. They also mentioned it would never bring back my mom, but could alleviate the burden of becoming an adult. So here's the deal. My dad did remarry. He has a stepdaughter, teen, and a son, kindergartner, with his current wife. They're not wealthy, and my dad's wife has prepared her daughters to try and work hard for scholarships and financial aid to get into college because she wants to study to become a lawyer, I think. My dad had similar conversations with me and had sat me down a few times since I learned of the money's existence to determine our plans. Eventually, I told him it wouldn't be a big concern, and I told him about the money. He was like, what the heck? And then he told his wife, and they apparently went what the heck together and told me I could be gracious and split the money when I get it between the three of us and give the other two a chance of having a decent helping hand with college. I told them I would not share it because it was created by my family, not theirs. Dad's wife argued that it would be incredibly selfish to take such a large amount of money and blow it all on myself when I have two siblings who could benefit in major ways. My dad told me that even giving some of it to them, not a full split, but some money I have left at the end, would be amazing and help my family out a lot. I told him I wasn't going to. They are so not happy with me. They told me that being selfish with this is not a good way to be. My dad is also angry that he continued saving for me and dividing things equally between us when I have so much I'll have access to in a few months. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You aren't blowing your money. He seems to think that this money would be wasted if it's not spent on your stepsister and half-brother, and your brother is 5. Plenty of time for his parents to save for him. Their reaction is exactly why your mom set it up the way she did. She knew your dad well enough to know the money would not be yours and used for children that are not hers. OP, not only did your mom know that your father would use her money to provide for kids with no connection to her, but she and your grandparents all knew that if your father knew about the money, he would use it as an excuse to not provide for you like he's supposed to, and look at what he said. My dad is also angry that he continued saving for me and dividing things equally between the three of us when I have so much I'll have access to in a few months. I'm curious if your father is going to ask for his contribution back or if he kept it separate. Then it's already gone and given to your step and half siblings. I tell your dad, thanks for proving mum right, on your way out the door and go low contact. Let them reach out to you and never hand over money. I disagree. I don't think it's unreasonable for the dad to redistribute whatever he saved for OP, since that's money the dad actually earned and has a right to redistribute. He housed, fed and raised OP all his life, so far as any parent should. That's definitely some contribution to his future. If I hit the lottery for $750,000 after tax as a teen, I'd be horrified if my parents tried to pay for my college. Their savings should pay for my sibling, who had maybe $8,000 saved from working in high school. Equal is not always equitable. My 44 female daughter, 25, is getting married to her girlfriend, 27, later this year. I've always dreamed of walking her down the aisle. My husband passed when she was a child. She enjoyed discussing a future wedding and playing bride as a child, picking flowers, colors, and venues. She loved watching my wedding videos and seeing me and her father getting married. It was important in our bonding. When she was 13, I promised her my wedding dress. However, her clothing style is much more manly. She began refusing to wear dresses or skirts in her late teens, even demanding that her school allow her to wear trousers. It was difficult convincing her to wear dresses to formal events. She's gone through phases of wanting short hair, wanting to be a boy, and getting tattoos. I've always supported this, even when she met and proposed to her girlfriend. I've encouraged her as much as I can. I'm contributing significantly to the wedding. I recently called and asked her when she wanted me to bring over the dress, as it would likely need slight alterations. She dropped the bombshell on me that she wanted to wear a suit and have my wedding dress altered to remove the skirt portion so that the bodice could be worn with trousers. At first, I agreed but dragged my feet bringing the dress over. After a few weeks, I changed my mind and told her the dress was important to me and I didn't want her to ruin it. I promised her the dress because I thought she'd wear it as a dress and she'd only get to wear it if it was a dress. I offered that her girlfriend could wear it as a dress instead, but my daughter said that would still be ruining it. Her girlfriend is a much larger woman than me, so it would need more altering, and has since not been answering my messages except with saying that the dress would be a connection to her dad, so she's disappointed not to have it. I offered to go dress shopping with her for a replacement, but apparently some of our family think I'm stopping her from having the dress because I disagree with her being masculine. Am I the idiot for telling her she can have it as a dress or not have it at all? I may be the idiot because I promised it to her, but that was when she was very young and before I knew she wanted to change it. Not the idiot. You offered to lend or let her use your dress, not tear it apart in a way that destroys it forever. This dress is yours, with living, breathing memories attached to it. If it cannot be returned to you in its original state, then no, you are not the idiot for changing your mind about this. You might need to ask a professional seamstress about what is possible. I'm sure you have other possessions that belong to her dad and she may be able to incorporate one of them, or recreate your bouquet, cake or something similar, if that connection is what she's seeking. I'm torn on stuff like this because a dress sitting in a closet for years, although a lovely memory, is just a waste. And I currently have mine hanging in my closet because I can't bring myself to get rid of it either. If OP's daughter doesn't use the dress, it's not likely that any grandchildren will use it either. It isn't an heirloom. To be fair, most 80s wedding dresses were made with acetate plastic. It's not exactly high quality, the last forever type of vintage. I fully get OP and I think it's their dress and their right to keep it intact, especially since they lost their husband and it's a memory of a happy day. But she needs to explain that to the daughter. She did explain those memories and sentimentality to the daughter. The daughter is still angry. OP, you are right. There is a difference between a dress and a length of cloth. You promised her your dress, not a piece of fabric that can be molded into something else. By the way, do you still have her father's suit? Maybe not the wedding suit, but any of them? Surely that would be a better way to connect to her father and fit her style at the same time. For context, I, 25 male, and my girlfriend, 23, have been together for a year, almost 2. When we first got together, it was great. I had literally no complaints about her, and something I even told her early on in the relationship during a conversation about our likes and dislikes, that I don't find body hair on women attractive. I'm only talking about the armpits and legs. Everything else I don't care. She didn't mind that I had that preference because she told me that she didn't like the sensation of body hair on her. Well, recently she started growing out her body hair. Her armpits and legs almost look like mine now. I've asked her multiple times about it, not to remove it straight up, but why has she been growing it out? She said she saw a TikTok about body positivity, which made her feel more confident. I tried to like it, but I can't. It doesn't look good. I finally told her straight up that I don't find it attractive. She didn't like that and said she didn't want me to be like one of those men. I told her if she didn't shave, I'd break up with her since I didn't find her attractive because of this. Let's say she got furious and said I'll never find a woman who shaves daily for me. Am I the idiot? Edit, I cannot be forced to like it, lol. I didn't straight up tell her I was going to break up with her. This was after multiple attempts of me trying to ask her about it and saying I wasn't attracted to it. I'm disabled and I told my partner that I physically can't shave my legs, so if he wants that to happen he has to do it himself. Have you considered offering to put in the time and energy to shave her yourself if you care so much? Or would that be a hassle and a waste of your precious time? I mean, yeah, you're allowed to break up with her, but it will be an interesting life if you plan to only date women who are constantly shaving. It's just not possible. This level of superficiality is going to bite you down the road. Sorry, but you are the idiot. Yeah, it's always seen as a small thing for women to do for their partner's preference, until literally any of the inconvenience is on them. Like, okay, I will keep my whole body shaved if you do. Let's see how long that lasts when they discover the joys of ingrown hair everywhere. When they got together, he had no complaints. The world's greatest love story is tragically brought down because of body hair. I disagree. No idiots here. She can have her body hair and you can walk away. Some women don't like men with long or short hair, beards or shaven. The same can go the other way around. It's a preference and that is okay. Time to move on. You'll find someone who shaves and she'll find someone who accepts her for who she is. If your relationship can't weather a little body hair, what hope does it have for when a real issue arises? This is best for you both if that's how little you're willing to adapt for each other. Had breast cancer and a mastectomy on one side at 32. My hubby said, "Being alive looks great on you," and never made me feel unsexy. Long-term relationships don't happen if body hair can be a deal breaker. Update: I looked through most comments and I understand that I'm an idiot. I decided to break it off with her. She didn't take it lightly, decided to insult me, and threatened to break my stuff. She ended up leaving, though, after some time to stay at her mom's house. I didn't realize at the time it was messed up for me to give her an ultimatum about this, so I deserve the insults. Thanks for the judgments, though. Changed my view on this sort of topic, but I thought it would be a good thing for the both of us to move on from each other. My son, Teen, approached me yesterday after school and said he didn't want to go to school the next day. I asked him why, and he said he just didn't feel like going and was tired of waking up early in the morning. I told him that that wasn't a good enough reason for him to stay home, and that if he felt tired when waking up in the morning, he should try to get in bed earlier. He got upset with me when I told him that and told me that he needed to stay home for the sake of his mental health. He then told me that making him go to school would only worsen it. I asked him why he thought that, and he told me that the kids and teachers at his school irritate him. This made me concerned, so I asked him if anyone was bullying him or if he was having problems with some of his teachers, and he just told me that he wasn't, and he just found them annoying. I asked him if that was the only reason, and he said to me that it was. I understood where my son was coming from and tried to show my understanding. I told him how I sometimes find my co-workers annoying too, but that doesn't mean I get to skip work just because of it. I told him that if he's serious about school being detrimental to his mental health, then I said to him that I'll try and find him a therapist to help him manage it. He then got even more mad at me and told me that he didn't need a therapist and that he only needed time away from school. He told me that I don't understand how stressful school can be, so he needs time away. I told him that I did understand and that a therapist could be beneficial in helping him deal with stress. He started arguing with me about not wanting to go again, and I just got frustrated. I told him that he had an upcoming doctor's appointment this Wednesday, so there's no need for him to miss both Tuesday and Wednesday. I told him that I don't want him to miss days of school unless they're absolutely necessary. He took this as me telling him that his mental health wasn't important, and then he started telling me that I must not love him if I sent him to school. He then told me that if I try to force him to see a therapist, I'll have something else to worry about. I asked him to clarify what he meant by that, but he didn't specify. He just told me not to worry about it and to leave him alone. Cut to this morning. He was very hostile with me from the moment he woke up and practically ignored me whenever I tried to speak to him. Then, when I dropped him off at school, he told me that he finds it weird that I hate him so much and don't want him to succeed in life. Then, before I could say anything, he got out of the car quickly. When I picked him up from school today, I tried to talk about what happened and what he said, but he just ignored me and is still not speaking to me. Not the idiot, but at that age, allowing them a mental health day once or twice a year is not going to hurt them academically, but it can teach them the importance of self-care. I let my son do it every now and again. He knows it's there if he really needs it. He doesn't abuse it. The kids in high school now have been preached about mental health. Meanwhile, adults were taught to push through. A lot of adults don't know how to do self-care. Instead, they keep pushing through until they crack. Kids learn that they don't need a band-aid if the boo-boo is not bleeding. Sometimes we can't see the boo-boo from the outside and we need to trust them. I half agree and half disagree with the mental health days. Mental health days are important and should be incorporated into our lives. However, it really seems like OP's child is trying to abuse that and just doesn't want to go to school. The manipulative attitude, rudeness and unwillingness to compromise make it really seem like OP's child didn't want a mental health day, just a day with no school. I'm willing to bet he had a presentation or something he wanted to skip. Or he was just being dramatic. The story to me reads like OP's kid is just overly dramatic, but OP is still taking them seriously regardless, which is a good thing on OP's part. It's not uncommon for teenagers to be all about drama. He'll grow out of his edge, "Lord, you just don't understand" phase. OP, you're clearly willing to help him if he's willing to help you by explaining what the problem is so you can work together to address it. I don't want to go to school is not a reason. My girlfriend and I have been together for just under 3 years now. We had a table booked at a restaurant we both like and then a couple of cocktail bars booked. The night was going really well, we had a meal and were at the first cocktail bar. A group of my girlfriend's friends enter the bar. They're already quite intoxicated, and they come over and offer us a drink. My girlfriend looks at me, but I politely decline. They ask again and say it's only a drink, and I just repeat what I already said. I mentioned it's supposed to be a date with just the two of us. My girlfriend says having one drink with them can't hurt, but I remind her it's supposed to be a date night for us. She just says she doesn't see the problem with one drink, but I point out the likelihood is they won't leave after one and that the night was supposed to be about just the two of us. I suggest leaving after the current drink and going to the next bar, but my girlfriend says she just wants to go home. We left together and she accused me of ruining the date, but I disagreed and pointed out it was supposed to be our date, not catch up with friends. She just repeated that I was wrong for not agreeing to have one drink with them, but I just said I didn't want to sit there while my girlfriend caught up with friends during our date. Am I the idiot for not wanting my girlfriend's friend to join us on our date? Not the idiot. With the correct terminology, we call this a lose-lose situation for you. Either you decline to drink with her friends and she's mad because you said no to drinking with her friends, or you accept drinking with her friends, which will 100% result in more than one drink, maybe spending the whole night with her friends, which is totally not the idea of a date. If your girlfriend thinks it's okay for her friends to crash your date, then maybe she's not the right person, but this is just my opinion. There was an easy compromise, having one drink with her friends and then leaving to go to the other bar. OP, you are the idiot. You dismissed what she wanted to do, have one drink with her friends, and most likely embarrassed her. How would you feel if the situation was reversed? You could have had just that one drink and then moved on to the next bar. Very controlling of you. Right, except she probably told them where she would be so they could all meet up. This girl's friends have no manners, and the girlfriend herself seems not to understand the purpose of a date. It's a date. They're on a date. If I found a friend of mine casually in a restaurant or bar and they told me they were on a date, I wouldn't push to have a drink with them. It's incredibly impolite.